Alright, so you want to learn how to cast a baitcaster. This might seem a little tricky at first, but once you get the hang of it, you'll never want to go back to a spinning reel. Baitcasters give you better accuracy and more control and allow you to easily handle heavier lures. The key is learning the proper technique, adjusting your reel settings, and practicing until it becomes second nature. Subscribe if this tutorial helps you, and let's break it down step by step. First thing you need to do is set up your reel properly. If this is your first time using a baitcaster, start with a medium to heavy rod and a 12 to 15 pound test monofilament line. Heavier line is easier to work with and prevents backlash, which is what happens when your spool spins faster than your line can leave the reel. Now take a look at your baitcaster and locate the spool tension knob, which is usually on the side of the reel. Turn it until you feel a slight resistance when pulling the line out by hand. This helps prevent the spool from running wild when you cast. Next, set your brake system. Baitcasters usually have either a magnetic or centrifugal brake. If your reel has a magnetic brake, start by setting it to about 75% of its maximum. If it has a centrifugal brake, open the side plate and activate at least half of the internal brake pins. Brakes control the spool's speed and help prevent backlash. As you get better, you can slowly lower the brake settings to increase your casting distance. Now hold your rod properly. Your thumb is your best friend when using a baitcaster. Place your thumb lightly on the spool to control the line. Hold the rod at about a 10 o'clock position and get ready to cast. Before you make the cast, press the spool release button and keep your thumb on the spool to prevent it from running freely. If you don't control it, you'll end up with a nasty bird's nest of tangled line. When you're ready to cast, use your wrist and forearm to flick the rod forward in a smooth motion. Start slow. Don't whip the rod too hard or you'll lose control. As you swing the rod forward, let go of the spool with your thumb, but keep it close. The moment your lure reaches the desired spot, press your thumb down on the spool again to stop the line. This is where practice makes perfect. Stopping the spool at the right time is the difference between a clean cast and a big mess. If you experience backlash, don't panic. It happens to everyone. The best way to fix it is to pull the tangled line out slowly while turning the spool by hand. Avoid yanking the line because that can make it worse. If backlash keeps happening, tighten your spool tension and increase the brake settings. Once you get better, you can slowly ease off these settings for longer casts. One of the biggest mistakes beginners make is trying to cast too far too soon. Focus on accuracy before distance. Aim for a short, controlled cast and gradually work on getting more distance as you improve. Another tip is to always keep your thumb close to the spool, even when you're not stopping it. This lets you make small adjustments mid-cast and prevents the spool from overspinning. Practice makes all the difference. Go out to an open field or a calm body of water and spend time casting over and over again. Try different lure weights, brake settings, and casting angles to see what works best for you. After a while, it'll start to feel natural and you won't even have to think about it. Baitcasters are all about feel. Once you develop muscle memory, you'll find yourself making smooth, accurate casts without much effort. It takes patience, but once you get it down, you'll have way more control over your fishing presentations. Now get out there and start practicing. Just remember, keep your thumb close, adjust your settings, and take your time. Before you know it, you'll be casting like a pro.